So then what was your biggest break that got you on Carson? Just they saw you doing stand-up and they just put you on the Tonight Show? That was it?
Leno was very, very helpful to
Okay.
back in the days when Jay was like the king of the road comics.
Right.
Jay had seen me work down at the Comedy Magic Club in Hermosa Beach, California, and he went back and told Johnny about me. But I was living in Atlanta. I was just on the road all over the country, and my wife said, "You're never going to know if you can make it in this if we don't go to L.A." And we moved to L.A., and I think we'd been there 2 weeks, and I was doing a set at the Improv. And did the set, and I was walking out to the lobby, and Jim McCauley, the talent director for Carson, followed me out in the lobby, and he said, "How come you haven't been on Carson?" I said, "Because you won't open my tapes. I've been mailing you tapes for 2 years."
Right.
And I was on, and a couple of weeks later, and I'm like, hell, I'm not any funnier than I was 3 months ago. Why did it take so long?
Hey, it's
but,
it's just like that movie Hoosiers, Jeff. It's just you measure the rim to the floor and the front the free throw line to the baseline. It's just the same comedy. It's just a different field house that you're in. It just happens to be the biggest field house in the history of comedy. The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Yeah, right. And back then, that was it. And out of everything I've ever done in my career, if you said, what's the highlight, it would be making Johnny laugh and getting called over, to sit on the couch there. That was the Mount Everest for a stand-up comedian back then. And it was totally career-changing. I mean, within a week, I was getting offers to headline Vegas because Johnny had called me to the couch.
That's it.
So,
seriously, because he didn't. If you made him laugh, again, I read about this. I'm just such an aficionado. I did stand-up comedy in college for a couple of years,
really?
Jeff. Yes. And
did you like it?
I loved it. Nothing like making a room laughing, making a room laugh. And I've also never done anything tougher. Literally has made everything else I've ever done in my career live that much easier. Nothing tougher than reading a room and trying to make people laugh. And I did it, in a student union on the campus at University of Michigan, so it was jammed with all my friends and packed. The toughest thing I ever did was I went on the road a couple weekends and did it in front of 10 people, and I sucked at that, and I just didn't know if I was cut out for it. But nothing is equivalent to that. Nothing.
See, I would think what you do, because there's so much prep that goes into what you do now, and it changes every day. I would think that would be tougher. I mean, I look at what you do and go, "Holy hell! How does somebody do that day after day after day?" So.
Well, I just for some reason have retention of the most useless facts of all time. I don't know why.
Sure.
That's just, and it's something that I'm able to do. But just in terms of, again, reading a room, trying to keep fresh material, and then when I do a show like this, if I crack wise, and if my audio executive, as he likes to call it, and my mass hole across the way producer doesn't laugh like they are right now, I think it's totally fallen flat. Like if I don't get the immediate reaction, and it's not their job to laugh at my stuff, but if I don't get the immediate reaction, I feel like I have totally crapped out. That's what stand-up comedy is left for me, pretty much.
And when it's great, there's nothing better. But when it's bad, there may not be anything worse. So.
But being called over, Jeff, by Johnny, you had to be through the moon when that day happened. Yeah,
what's
amazing.
Funny, Rich, is like if you go through my house, I don't have stuff all over the walls,
Right.
But I do have an 8x10 black and white picture of sitting in the chair talking to Johnny, and Johnny's got his mouth wide open, just gut laughing.
Love it.
And I said, that's all I ever wanted to do. I made, from when I grew up, you had 3 channels. That was, for a stand-up comic, that was it.
Yep.
There was no specials. That was it. And to make that man laugh, I remember going home that night and laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, go, I don't have a plan. That was it. I have no plan. What do I do tomorrow?
That's like, thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming. Tip your waitress, and that's the end of the set right there.
Night.
The career set. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.